What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Uh, Super Bowl is over. It's been a week now. Been able to process, what's been happening with the team. Obviously, there's been a couple of weeks now and months. Yeah, I guess months, right? Since I covered anything Bucks related, specifically just the team. Right. I know that the last couple of months we've been focusing on Denver, and like I said, there is five of us here. My team obviously is the Bucks. So today I wanted to just cover some of the things that I think this team needs to continue to be successful in the NFC. Once again, last year we were 6-2. At one point, we were one of the best teams in the NFC, and we were one of the few teams that beat the Seahawks this year. So that is something that I am proud of as a Bucks fan, of course. But today I wanted to cover just overall the grades of the team. How do they do as a team? Who are some players that I think should be coming back? Who are some players that I think we should let go? Just let them walk. Who should we draft? And who should we sign? Right? Because there's a lot of holes that we have to fill on this team. And again, the division is still very winnable. I know the Panthers won it last year, but um, they were great, right? They won by default, essentially, right? So yeah, let's begin with that. I'm going to share my screen so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. And the first thing I'm going to do is just cover the people on the team that will be free agents or are free agents as of right now. Okay, so let me just share screen. Give me a second, y'all. Yes. Yes. Hold on, what's going on here? Okay, yes. Window. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. So yes, as you can see here, this is a again, if you can't see it, let me know. Looks like you can. Cool. Sorry about that, y'all. So again, as you can see here, this is just a very basic grade, PFF grade book of the players. As you can see, there was only one player on the offensive side of the ball that scored over 90, and that was Tristan Wirfs. He was ranked second in the entire league at his position. Everybody else wasn't great, right? I know Evans was hurt. Godwin was hurt. Ibuka got hurt throughout the season as well. Baker obviously was hurt. And Bucky was hurt. So the stars on the team were essentially not out there for most of the season, right? Bredesen, Barton, and Cody Mock were also hurt. Kodecki was also hurt, right? Really, the entire team was out for a big portion of the season. So the grades obviously were affected, because of this. With that said, Wirfs was the only one that played at the level that he's always played at. So shouts out to him. Evans is a free agent, and that there is discussions that he might leave the team this year. Who knows? Hopefully he doesn't. I do want to see him come back. He is, one of the greatest Bucks of all time, if not the best. Right? That's debatable, I guess. Right? That's a whole different conversation. Anywho, he is a free agent, and hopefully he does come back. Godwin, is still on the team, and Ibuka, although he had flashes of greatness in his rookie year, I don't think he's ready to be the number one receiver yet, right? So I think having Evans for one more year, at least, if not two more, possibly even three, could really help him out, right? And let's not forget McMillan, who is also on the team, right? So, but if Evans does walk, we still have Godwin and McBuka and again and McMillan. So we should be fine at receiver. Of course, someone like Evans is not replaceable. He is a beast. But if he has to walk, he has to walk. There's nothing we can do about that. It's only on him. I think the team wants him back from what I've heard. He wants to come back, but like 2 years ago, the same thing. There was not an agreement, or it took him a while to have an agreement on, the contract or whatever. So those guys are fine. It should be good. I'm not worried about these guys. Where there was an issue all year long, and we saw this play out, was the line, in particular the middle of the line with Cody Mock out most of the year, Bredesen as well, and then Barden, right, has not lived up to those expectations, at least in that position. I know that he played left tackle in the beginning of the year, and he was pretty good. Actually, he played pretty good in that position from what I saw, right, just with the eye. But as a center, he's not doing it. He's not playing, exceptionally well the way that he was perceived to supposedly play before the season came out, right? Before he was drafted. So maybe moving him to, guard, maybe that helps him get better. I don't know. But regardless, the middle of the line needs to be addressed for sure, right? Whether it's center or guard, we have to address those issues because after that Lions game, no matter what happened, every single team that played against this team was attacking the middle of the field. And if you look at the grades, well, it shouldn't be a shocker, right? These guys were not able to hold up. The run game was a non-factor. The play calling was very pedestrian. Obviously, he's gone, right? We got Zach Robinson as a new offensive coordinator, so hopefully he does change that. But however, uh, this is where I think our biggest need is in whether we address it through free agency or through the draft. That will be, we'll see what happens, right? Now, on the other side of the ball is where we have the most issues. We've had issues here for a while now, right? Although our defensive backs, I would say, are our strength on the team. We expect Dean to walk away because the contract that was restructured was made so that he can walk away, ball out. He did, out of all the seasons for him to ball out, he does on his contract year. He was fifth overall as a corner in the NFL, and he's probably going to leave. I don't see him coming back. Benjamin Morrison is a rookie. He did have a pretty bad year, but that's kind of expected with rookies. They don't do well right first year in that position. So I expect him to bounce back. Hopefully, because we drafted him pretty high, so he has to. He's another option, especially if we're going to let Dean walk out, right? Parrish, our slot corner, was very, very impressive in that position. So, he did well. Winfield did have a bounce back year. He played a little bit better than he did the year before that. So, that's fine. The issues on this team are clearly at the line. Reddick was a huge disappointment. I know he was hurt too a lot of the year, but even when he wasn't a factor. Cansey was also out most of the year. He came back at the end, but again, didn't matter at that point. Even though we won the game, it was relevant because we were not going to go to the playoffs. Logan Hall has not been somebody that has been impressive at all. So, we definitely have a lot of work at the line. And more importantly, I think the linebacker position. Levante David is also a free agent. He might come back next year, but even if he does, as you can see, he did not play well in this past year. And Servasia Dennis, was also a huge disappointment. So clearly, this side of the ball needs to be addressed because even in 2024, when the offense was lights out, the defense was not, and it showed, right? Even though we made the playoffs, we struggled to stop people, and it was a big, big problem, right? So those are just some of the grades for this team, right? To show you guys that this team, obviously, like most teams in the NFL, need to address some of these holes, right? So historically, the Bucs have used the draft to do that, but they have not always been successful with those things, right? I think more so on the offensive side of the ball, they've been a lot better than the defensive side of the ball. Whoa, what is that? Oh, oh, okay. I don't know what's wrong with the that's embarrassing. Huh. Well, anywho, don't worry about the camera. If you guys can see me, uh, it's fine. Don't know why it's making that noise though. I'll just take that off. Hold on, guys. Of course, stuff like this always happens. No worries. Uh, if you guys can hear me, let me know. Not, and we'll keep going. Wait, what's going on? Are you guys able to hear me? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you won't be able to see me. I'll try it again, but the camera just died on me completely. This has never happened. All right, let's go. Let's go back. Man, something always happens when I do lives. I don't know why. Something always has to get in the way. So, I want to now talk about the free agents on the team, right? And is unstable. Did I get disconnected? Cool. All right. There it is. So these agents that we have, right? So again, Mike Evans. We talked about Mike Evans. Him more than likely, I think he's going to come back. He's Mike Evans. We expect him to come back. We hope that he comes back. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. Oh well. We got to move on. Son Reddick, I don't want him back. He was a big disappointment. I was really shocked that he wasn't able to produce. So he can walk. Jamel Dean, I don't want him to walk. He's gonna walk because we restructured the contract so he's able to walk. Levante David, same thing. Maybe one more year, but if he doesn't, we saw that he's not the same Levante David. Thank you again for all the years, though. But if he walks, he walks. Greg Gaines, he can walk. Riley Dixon, I mean, I guess we can bring him back. Logan Hall, he can walk. Sterling Shepard, we don't need another receiver. He can walk. Charlie Heck, doesn't matter. Kendall Vildor, irrelevant. Rashad White, although he's been a pretty good backup, right? He did make it clear he's not going to come back, so he's going to walk. Dan Feeney, irrelevant. A.T. Gray, Anthony Walker. All these guys at the end are just backups, so they can all walk. Oh, Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker is not, and Izzy and too as well. Probably those two are the only ones I would say that could probably come back. Kate Otten, he can walk. He has not been great. He's been okay, I guess, when he has to, but he can walk as well. I don't care, right? So these are the free agents that we have so far, and out of all these guys, I would say probably just Mike Evans and Levante David, and Sean Tucker are ones that I hope that can come back, right? If not, then again, it is what it is, right? So next thing is we have to address is the draft. Or before the draft, right? Before the draft, I know that again that Jason Light doesn't normally get big name free agents on his team, but if we can get some, then why not? And again, I haven't looked at any other free agent list, so this is gonna be the first time looking at it. So please bear with me if I don't know some of these players. Then I apologize, right? But let me get to them. So let's go to the entire league. Okay. So off the bat, you have Trey Hendrickson, who is an edge rusher, so he would be a good fit for the Bucs if we wanted to get him, right? But I don't know if we're going to be able to. But if we're not going to address this need in the draft, then we definitely have to get him here, right here in the during free agency. All right. Is my mic not working? Dude. Hello, 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 hello. Can you guys hear me? If you guys are not able to hear me, let me know, because I don't see the icon moving. But Jesus Christ. All right, let's move on. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, who cares? I'll just waste my time, I guess, talking. Again, Mike Evans, we talked about him. We got to bring him back. Um, Khalil Mack, he's too old. I don't see us getting him. Maybe if you do, it's like a 1 year thing, right? But I don't see him coming to our team. We see Joe Batonio. Joe Batonio is a guard, and he is up there in age, but maybe a 1 year deal. Wouldn't mind it, right? Wyatt Teller, another guard for the Browns, and also up in age. So not really somebody that I would be interested in. David Njoku is somebody that we have talked about. I've heard it circulate, and he did play, I think, with Baker, if I'm correct. So, um, yeah, I mean, he'd be nice to have, but not a big priority. Rogers oh wow, I thought he would retire at this point, right? Boza is 30 years old, maybe him too, but he also has a history of being hurt, so I don't know about him. David Onyemata, now he's too old. Um, at this point, none of these guys stand out, so it looks like the free agent pool isn't too good, right? Nobody out there that's like, oh my goodness, we have to get him. Let's look at the market value. All right. So yeah, I mean, Devin Lloyd is a linebacker that we can probably get to address the linebacker situation. David Edwards, another guy. So there's a couple of guys out there, right? Tyler Linderbaum, center. Again, these are guys that are out there that can potentially address some of these needs that we have, uh, you know, on the team, right? So, yeah, want to against. So a top draft prospect here again, guys. We're not going to be able to draft, and before we do any of that, do want to look at where we are drafting. I believe we're in the middle of the pack. We're at 15th. Okay, so 15th, and yeah, 15th. So we want to look at some of these guys and see who would be a good fit for this team. So the first 15 guys, I mean, they could land with us as possible, but I'm gonna just say they probably are not. So according to this mock draft, they got us drafting an edge rusher right here. As you can see, it's Cassius Howell, and the Bucs clearly need a pass rusher. We've been needing one for years since JPP and Shaq Barrett were dominating at the trenches. We do have Yaya Diaby, but he's not a number one. He's more of a supporting cast type of player. So we need somebody who can wreck the backfield and let these corners go to work, right? We don't have that. It doesn't exist at the moment. We don't have any of that. So I would like for us to be able to have somebody out there who can rush the passer, you know, and address that issue, right? But if we don't get him, then what is the next best thing? Anywho, this is a list of some of the players that I think we should get, right? So again, I'm not going to look at all of them because we're not drafting a lot of these guys because again, where we are positioned. So it makes sense for us to even look at these guys. So first few guys probably are not going to land within our reach. But if we start looking at 15 and up, right? Then there's a couple of edge rushers. It looks like this draft is packed with a couple of these guys, right? So we should be able to draft an edge rusher without an issue, right? There should be no problem in getting an edge rusher. So that means that we can address the edge rusher position in the draft and then the other positions in free agency, right? So I don't see us not addressing these issues. We should. It's on paper. So if we don't address it, then whoever is in charge of drafting people and I don't know, scouts or whatever did not do their job, I would say. Right. So these are just some of the names that I would like for us to get. Later down the line, I'm gonna do more specific videos as I do some of the research on these players and we'll see who they draft. But again, I apologize, people, for the malfunction. The malfunction. Oh my goodness, what's going on today? The malfunction with my camera and apparently my mouth too today. um, and just not being able to see what I've been presenting. But on that note, I'm gonna end it here, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, as the combine gets closer and as the draft and free agency come to us, then I will address some of these issues in a more detailed way. Today was just me doing a live, very freestyle. Did not do any research on any of these players, so I'm just looking at whatever's out there. Right. Once they do come out, like I said, I will do the research, and I will let you know in probably shorter videos who I think the Bucs should get, should draft, should sign based on what I've read, based on the film, the tape that I've seen, because I am going to be breaking down film of some of these players, right? So on that note, this is Flo, Cover 5, y'all. Subscribe if you haven't so. All right, peace.